This video is sponsored by BlueStacks. You guys might get bored, so I made a rap. BlueStacks is a free mobile game emulator that you can use to play the games like Azur Lane. Like, that's insane. Instead of on your phone, you play it on your PC screen. I use BlueStacks to record my videos. I ain't joking, I can't record on my phone. If you want better graphics, go give this a try. It's free to download and there's no reason to not comply. This channel will receive a small commission, and this will support me for my new mic mission. If this all sounds good and you want to give it a go, check out my referral link in the description below. Peace. If you guys like that rap, leave your feedback in the comments. Anyway, hello again, it's me, Ander or FBI Open Up, back with another guide on Meowfficers. I made a guide on them a while back, but that video is really quiet and it's not well edited, so I decided to make a new one. Anyway, these cute companions provide additional stat boosts to your fleet, as well as a couple of other useful abilities too. The game doesn't tell you much about them, so I decided a video would be very good to go and let people use them more efficiently. I'll divide this video into a question and answer kind of thing, so check out the timestamps in the comment section or description to find the answers to your question. Now, as a disclaimer, I'll switch between calling them Meowfficers and simply calling them cats, since one is much easier to say than the other. With that being said, let's talk about some Meowfficers. Meow. Okay, wait, shoot. Now, I think I'm turning into a cat. The first common question is, where do I equip them? Well, you can equip the Meowfficers that you obtain by clicking on first formation right here on the right. Then on the top right of your screen, under the name, you will see these two rectangles, and when you click them, you will be brought to the Meowfficers tab. I'll explain this soon, but the left side is for the command Meowfficer, and the right is for your staff Meowfficer. When you want to equip them, click one of these rectangles, and then choose the Meowfficer you want to equip. Click the confirm button in the bottom right corner, and now you have equipped a Meowfficer to that certain fleet. Keep in mind that these Meowfficers will only be active in this particular fleet, meaning that if you use a different fleet, for instance my fleet 2, you will have to use a different set of Meowfficers in order to go and get bonuses for this fleet. So these Meowfficers will only give bonuses to fleet 2, and these Meowfficers will only give bonuses to fleet 1. Now you can also do this for your submarine fleet right here, which if you click on the bottom submarine tab right here, you can do the same exact thing and equip your submarines right there. Now there's one more thing, which is on hard mode maps and event maps. You have to re-equip Meowfficers in this case. Once you click the go button, you will find this Meowfficers tab right here under the fleets tab, and you will have to re-equip them in the same exact way. The top being for your command Meowfficer and the bottom being for your staff Meowfficer. Finally, on the event stages, when you click the go button, you will have to do the same thing. So fleets, and then click the Meowfficers tab and re-equip them. Now you're wondering, where would I find and get these Meowfficers? The one way that you should always be doing every single day is by simply clicking the Meowfficers tab when you click HQ and then go to the Cat Lodge. Every single day you will get a free cat box. So right here on the bottom right corner you can click the buy button, and from the Akashi Express, first box is free every day. Click place order, click confirm, and you will get a random cat box for absolutely free. Nice. Now this is the thing that you should be doing every day, as this is your consistent way in getting them. You can also purchase extra ones with gold, but this is highly not recommended, since you can have a ton of other ways to spend gold, and these Meowfficers do not provide that big of a boost. Limit breaking your ships or buying other items is a much better priority than just buying Meowfficer boxes. And there is also a daily mission that you can complete every day. I already completed it, but it will give you another blue Meowfficer box. There's a weekly one too, where if you train 10 of them, you will get a purple Meowfficer box. And the last final way right now is if you go to the munitions tab, and in almost all the event shops, you will find Meowfficer boxes that you can buy. The gold ones are very good buy, so if you have all the rest of the high priority items like Kaga BB and these general blueprints and gold and stuff, then you can definitely buy a gold one. I wouldn't highly recommend these ones because they are much easier to get just by doing the simple free roll every single day, but the golden ones are pretty good, so you should go and get them if you have extra points left over. Once you have gotten these cat boxes through any of those ways, you can make them into Meowfficers by first going back to the cat lodge, then clicking the training button in the bottom right corner, click the start training button, then click the fill queue button, then click the start training button once more, clicking confirm, and then it will train, and then for this amount of time they will have to go and wait, and then once it's done, it will say complete. You can click finish all, and this is how you will get your Meowfficers. Now those are the only methods to obtain Meowfficers in the game currently, and as a reminder, obtaining Meowfficers is more meant towards the late game, as they only give a small boost to your fleet power. Don't worry too much or go out of your way to obtain all of the cat boxes, since that small stat increase just isn't worth all of your troubles. Now that we've discussed where to find these Meowfficers, as well as where to equip them, the next question is, which one of these Meowfficers are good? A general rule of thumb to follow is that the highest rarity ones will be better than the lower rarity ones, so the super rare ones will be the best, then elite ones will be the second best, and then rare ones are just bad and you should probably wait until you get a super rare or elite one instead, because they have better skills and more stats, meaning they will be able to provide more buffs to your fleet. So if you have any of these super rare ones, they all are very good, so just use any of them that you get. And there are a couple of notable purple Meowfficers too. I won't have all of them, so I will just put a picture on the screen for the ones that I don't have. The first to mention are Edelweiss and Grawl, who are the submarine Meowfficers. There may be a blue one that is for submarines, but I'm just going to disregard them. So there are only 3 purple and gold Meowfficers that are submarine related. The 2 purple ones are Edelweiss and Grawl, as I just mentioned. Edelweiss right here is better than Grawl because its skill, I don't know if it's a he or she, so I'll just call it an it. The cat skill is that it increases ASR, which is the submarine hunting range, by +1, which is very useful. And also the same thing goes with the legendary super rare one, Heal, who also increases ASR by another +1. These are the only 3 that you should probably be using in your submarine fleet, so they are very good to have. Now, other people to look out for are Bunny and Yoshimaru. Bunny increases torpedo, well not torpedo damage, destroyer damage in general, where it has destroyer related skills, and it's very, very solid. Now, Yoshimaru buffs not destroyer damage, now it's torpedo damage, and then finally Eagle over here is pretty good because it buffs carriers and does a couple of interesting things, like when they run into an airstrike, there is a chance to completely evade the airstrike. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Moving on to the next question of how do I level up my Meowfficer? As a disclaimer, first of all, I would not recommend leveling up any of these blue Meowfficers because they are personally not worth leveling up, since they do not have good skills or stats. If you really wanted to level something up, just wait until you get a purple or a gold Meowfficer to start leveling them up. If you do accidentally level up a Meowfficer that you do not like, you can always consume them with a very slight XP reduction. So it's not really that big of a deal if you accidentally leveled up a blue one and you want to feed it to a higher rarity one later on. Now, there are 2 different ways to go and level up your Meowfficer. The first is to use them in regular battles when you assign them to your fleet, but this will barely give out any experience. Now, the much more efficient way is to feed your duplicate cats to the ones that you want to upgrade. To do this, you would click the Enhance tab right here on the left side of your screen. Then you would click on this empty space, and then from here you would be able to consume any of the additional Meowfficers. I would recommend feeding all of your blue ones, as I've already did, and you will be able to get a solid amount of XP for that particular Meowfficer. Now, another hidden tip that the game doesn't tell you is that if you feed duplicate cats to the same exact named cat, you'll be able to unlock the second and third parts of their abilities. So for instance, if I wanted to go and upgrade my Edelweiss to her second or his second skill part for level 2, you would need to feed an additional duplicate Edelweiss to this one right here. So once you do that, the EXP, as you can see, is 0 out of 1, then every single duplicate will give +1 points, meaning that level 2 will be unlocked. Now to get from level 2 to 3, you will need to consume an extra 3 duplicate hats to the same one, and you'll be able to unlock the last part of the ability right here. Now the last part I want to talk about is that for every 5 levels that your Meowfficer goes, so for instance my Meowfficer is at level 11, so they will unlock 2 of these talent token points right here. So for every 5 levels you unlock 1 talent point token, and with these talent point tokens you can level up your Meowfficer's skills, which I will be talking about right now. Well, actually not skills, they're called talents. Well, regarding the talents on a Meowfficer, these are extra stat boosts as you can see, that will give certain ships in your fleet extra boosts. When you get a Meowfficer, they will come with a couple of these randomized skills. I'll call them skills and talents, they mean the same thing. Now the only difference would be if I talked about abilities, which are these blue things right here. This is an ability, and these are skills or talents. Anyway, you can upgrade them or unlock more of these talents with tokens, as I just mentioned, with the every 5 levels, as you can see right here, gain 1 talent point for every 5 levels. The one rule that you would want to follow to get a good talent for your Meowfficer is that depending on what their ability says, so for instance my submarine ability Meowfficer is submarine related, so what you'd want is that you would want talents that would upgrade your submarine buffs. Cool, so then for instance this one would say that you'd get extra torpedo for your submarines. This is actually very good because all of my submarines are part of the wolf pack, so then they will get extra iron blood bonuses, and as long as it's related to the ship class that your Meowfficer's ability is based off of, then that will be considered a pretty good talent roll. Now the best talents to look out for are offensive boosts such as firepower, reload, aviation, and torpedo. So this torpedo thing would be very good. Firepower, torpedo, accuracy. Accuracy isn't really that good. The offensive ones are the best because they would provide the most significant buffs. And there are also a couple of rare ones that you can find, such as this Rainbow Destiny one. Now this one is a significant buff that cannot be upgraded. These are the ones that you would want to look out for because they are considered the best. Now to name a few of these best significant ones that you can get, obviously as I've said, Destiny is one of them. It will give a very nice boost, as well as some other things like Soulful Warrior right here, meaning that you will get 15 firepower and extra main gun crit rate. So some of these things are actually pretty good together. You could have, for instance, the Destiny Rainbow talent right here, which would give a whole bunch of boosts, but you would lose luck. And then you could combine that with someone that has Miracle right here, which would give 5 extra luck. So with these two in the same fleet, you would be able to counteract that luck debuff and be able to get all of those extra boosts. Now to check if you have one of these rare skills, all you'd have to do is click the talent itself, and then you will see only 1 square. This will mean that it is a good talent, but if you click one of them that has 3 of these squares, this will mean that it is a normal talent that is not that good. So for instance, this one is a good one, and this one is also a good one, but these two are not as good because they have 3 squares instead of 1. By the way, this just means that you can upgrade them with those talent point tokens, but these ones you cannot. Now there are a lot of different talents out there as you can see, so be sure to experiment with your own Meowfficers and find the best possible loadout for your own fleet. Okay, as another disclaimer, as I've just said, the talents and skills actually, this is your skill. I call them abilities because God knows why, I actually don't know. But anyway, I'll just call these skills abilities. I'm very sorry if I'm confusing you, but these blue things are now what I'm going to be talking about. Okay, now I'll call them skills. So there are 2 different slots that you can put your cat in, as I've said earlier, the command slot and your staff slot. You can figure out which one your Meowfficer belongs to by clicking on their skill / ability or whatever you call it, and finding whether or not it would say the keyword staff right here, or if something would say something like command, as you can see right here. Now depending on which thing that your ability slash skill says, that is where you would want to equip your Meowfficer in, because then their abilities will not proc if you do not. So make sure that you're putting them in the right place, or else they will not be buffing your fleet for any significant amount than compared to when you do have them in the right place. Now some cats will not have any mention of what slot they should be put in, such as this cat right here, who I think is named Antenna. Anyway, they will not have any mention of staff or command thing, so you can just put them anywhere you want for any missing slots that you have. Now, as you can see, they're not actually named Antenna or anything. That's because I can nickname your cat. Well, I can't nickname your cat, but I can nickname my own cats. You can do this by clicking on this little icon right here and re-entering their name. I'd recommend doing this because you can actually see which ones belong to what part without having to go in, click talent, and then clicking skill or ability, and then finding the keywords. So just by renaming them either staff or command, you'll be able to very quickly equip your cats to the slot they should be in. You can do this every 24 hours, so don't worry if you accidentally renamed your Meowfficer the wrong thing. From here, I've covered basically everything you need to know about the Meowfficer, so just be sure to head on over to Formation once you've finished everything, and equip them in the right places, the left being for command and the right being for staff for one more time. With that being said, this concludes my in-depth Azur Lane Meowfficer guide. As always, if you found this information helpful, consider dropping a like and subscribing. Don't forget to press that notification bell for my future uploads as well. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions that need to be answered, and I'll try my best to reply. With that being said, that's all I have for this video. So, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!